In our pain, our blue, our beautiful, our hard, our messy, our ugly, our struggles and our joys. God is with us. God accompanying us. God alongside us. God amid us. God among us. God beside us. God by us. God including us. God near us. God plus us. God upon us. God as companion to us. God side by side us. God in the thick of us. In the thick of our humanity. In the middle of this weary world. God is with us. In the gift and in the muck and mire of real life, we are called to be present, to be in the flesh with one another, accompanying others, alongside others, amid others, beside others, by others, for others, including others, near others, a companion to others, side by side with others, in the thick of others. God with us with others. God with the world in the thick of the beautiful and the messy. In that, a weary world rejoices.
mean, I think from a contemplative basis, I think contemplation naturally grounds us in an Advent posture because it's about being open to God, and the Advent season is about making room to be open to receiving God in our life. And in a contemplative posture, a contemplative way of living is a constant opening to the presence of God in our life and the action of God in our life. So Advent doesn't feel any different to me than how I live daily. Try to live with an openness to the presence and action of God. So I would encourage people to practice centering prayer, because centering prayer is a way to learn how to, you practice letting go and opening to the presence of God in a 10 or 20 minute sit, and that practice becomes a discipline then in your everyday active life, where it becomes more easy to consent to the action and presence of God in our life. So I would encourage people towards centering prayer. I think it would naturally help folks to create that openness. That is the purpose of Advent, to open us to the coming of God in our life. You just got to find some time. You just got to carve out some time and space daily to be still and silent and go into that place of inner solitude. And I think if we really want to listen, then we have to cultivate that silent solitude and stillness in us, so that when we're moving about and going throughout our day, there's this sort of space within us that's been cleared out to listen. Otherwise, it's just frenzy and chaos that's getting in the way and preventing us from really hearing and listening to the voice of God in our life, or being able to see God in our everyday life. So centering prayer is very simple and easy in terms of its steps, but it's really hard for the ego because it's about letting go, and we like to be in control. So we just carve out the time, and we choose a sacred word as our symbol to consent to the action of God within us. And then we sit. And when the thoughts come and the distractions come, then we just gently return to that sacred word as our symbol to consent to the action of God within us. And we do that if it takes 1,000 times to return to that sacred word. That's what we do. And it seems like a waste of time, but what it is it's creating this posture in us to yield to the presence of God. It's creating this posture in us to consent to God's presence and action in us. And then at the, however long you want to sit for, when that period is over, then that's it. And you just move that posture into your active life. So you find a way to sit in an attentive, upright posture. You choose a sacred word, and you gently introduce that word as your symbol to consent to the action of God within you, and you just return to that word every time you notice you're getting distracted from offering that full attention to God.
One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere filling the air. Oh, how they pound, raising the sound, o'er hill and dale, telling their tales. Merry, merry, while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Merry, merry, merry Christmas. Merry, merry, merry Christmas. All they send on without end their joyful tone to every home. Hark how the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek and the bold. Ding dong, that is the song, with joyful ring, the caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere filling the air. Oh, how they pound, raising the sound, o'er hill and dale, telling their tales. Merry, merry, while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Merry, merry, merry Christmas. Merry, merry, merry Christmas. On they send on without end their joyful tone to every home. On they send on without end their joyful tone to every home. Ding dong, ding dong.
Yeah, the Advent story, I mean, what's really nice, I think, about the Advent liturgy is that the readings that are normally set up in the lectionary cycles start with, as it were, something coming which sounds as though it's going to be violent, and it gets less and less violent, and then it ends in something absolutely unremarkable. And that's the remarkable thing about it. It's the undoing of the expectation of...
The remarkable is the unremarkable?
Yes, exactly.
It's a hard sell.
Well, Christianity is a hard sell in that sense. Yeah, but it's the...
What gives you hope about the unremarkable?
Because it's the undoing of wrath. The assumption that if God is going to arrive, then it will look wrathful. And the realization, you know, this was, even John the Baptist expected that. John the Baptist was pretty thrown by Jesus not being as wrathful as he had expected. And the realization that actually there is no wrath at all in God, that wrath is our wrath, and we're pretty good at it. And that God is going to start undoing all of that from within, starting from the most vulnerable place that a human can be, which is as a baby.
I will light candles this Christmas, candles of joy, despite all the sadness, candles of hope where despair keeps watch, candles of courage where fear is ever present, candles of peace for tempest-tossed days, candles of grace to ease heavy burdens, candles of love to inspire all my living, candles that will burn all the year long.